Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today I am going to talk about some vinyl the last vinyl purchase I bought. Uh, it is the Beach Boys. It's the very best of the Beach Boys, The Sounds of Summer, uh, compilation of their some of their best hits. Um, I love this cover, the sun, of course. Beach Boys, it has beach in the title. It's you think Beach Boys, you think of being on in California, on the beach, surfing or on the ocean. Um, Backside here, you got three surfboards and the beach and the ocean. It's got two vinyl discs or whatever, uh, four sides, of course, two sides on each disc. A compilation of 30 songs, so quite a bit there. And you see some of them there. Anyways, um, open up the inside. Inside's pretty cool. It has a list of every single song on each side and who wrote the song and produced and even what year it came out and what album came off of. So it's pretty interesting information if you want to look at exactly where these songs came from. Anyways, but just talk about the Beach Boys. I saw this vinyl at Walmart, and I thought, yeah, I don't know if I'd say a big fan, pretty good fan of the Beach Boys. Always enjoyed their music. Since I was younger, I kind of got into oldies music when I was probably around 10 years old. Um, and this is back in the early 90s when I kind of discovered the Beatles, and from my older sister and my dad was listening to Beatles, and so I was listening to Beatles, and I became a huge fan of the Beatles as I am today. And after becoming a big fan of the Beatles, became a big fan of '60s music in total, and I was listening to the '60s oldie station all the time, probably between the ages of 10 and 12. I would say I was constantly obsessed with '60s music. At the time, I was living close to Wichita, Kansas, and the oldest station was 103.7. So I always remember that number. I have vivid memories of just sitting and listening to the 103.7 oldie station, and it has 50s and 60s, I guess, hits on it. And I'd even at nighttime, I would have this radio by my bed, and I would turn on 103.7, and I would listen to music until I fell asleep. Until I woke up next morning, it was on the oldie station. So I don't know, I just really loved the '60s sound at that time. Of course, mostly because I love the Beatles so much. And of course, I was thinking, when did I first heard the Beach Boys? I don't exactly have a memory of hearing the Beach Boys. Obviously, listening to the oldie station, a lot of Beach Boys songs came on because they had tons of hits. I mean, uh, I would say off of this album, I mean, there's at least 20 songs that I was pretty familiar with where I was like, oh yeah, I know that song from hearing on the radio. So I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, most bands only have a handful of maybe hit songs on the radio, I think. Beach Boys, one of the most prolific, I think, in the '60s period, at least that early '60s period. I mean, they're up there probably right behind the Beatles in that time period. I would say the Beatles obviously number one when they came about in 1964, but the Beach Boys, I'm not sure exactly when they started coming together, but around that same time, I think the Beach Boys were right up there with them as coming out with hits and hits songs, and a very popular band, obviously. Um, and Pet Sounds, my favorite Beach Boys album. It's number two on Rolling Stone's 500 top albums. It's always been considered one of the greatest albums of all time. I hear it wasn't considered that at the time when it came out, but today we consider it one of the best albums. Other than Pet Sounds, their other albums I'm sure probably did well. Like I said, they had so many. I'm not sure if they had a lot of number one singles, but definitely had a lot of hits that came on the radio. Like I said, that I used to listen to. So I don't know. From early age, I just remember probably heard. I feel like when I think of Beach Boys, I think of California Girls and uh, I would say Surfing USA. It seems like if I think about the Beach Boys, I think of surfing and cars. I feel like that was their big subject matters. Was of course, like I said, they're talking about their Beach Boys. They're talking about being on the beach, hanging out, having fun, and listen to this compilation album. Uh, I would say at least the early stuff. I mean, it feels like it definitely the demographic. I feel like is like teenage boys. I wonder. That's what it felt like to me. I wonder if girls listen to the Beach Boys as much as boys did, because definitely seems to hit at them more than the Beatles. The Beatles, I feel like, I mean, girls love the Beatles. Guys did too, but girls went crazy with the Beatles. I don't know if they went as crazy with the Beach Boys. Maybe they did. I don't know as much about the Beach Boys, but obviously the Beatles, their subject matter was, towards women, she loves you, love me do, please please me, I want to hold your hand, from me to you. It was P.S. I love you. It was songs to sing. It's like they wanted to be singing to the girls, so the girls go crazy. Oh, he's singing to me, and secretly they're hoping they would, fall in love with one of the Beatles, or the Beatles would fall in love with them and marry them or something. That was always probably a fantasy of girls that oh, this cute rock and roller will marry me someday or go out with me. Anyways, Beach Boys aren't that listening to their songs, like I said, it's definitely like songs like California Girls. I mean, that's definitely a guy perspective, being on the beach and like, look at these girls, in your California. So there's a lot of good looking girls on the beach. So it's like, yeah, look at these girls, and a lot of it's to me is hanging around, looking at the girls, surfer girl, fun, fun, fun. I get around, Surfing Safari, all these kind of things. And then you got cars like Little Deuce Coupe is on here, which is about. And there's not a lot of cars songs on here, but I know they have a lot of more songs about cars, driving fast cars. Not that grown up guys don't like doing that too, but definitely I think teenage boys. You think about, especially in the '50s, '60s era, like getting your girl in a car and just go driving around was like a big deal. I think back then more than it is today. Um, and you have songs like "When I Grow Up to Be a Man," definitely a song about thinking about the future, being a grown up. Also, "Wouldn't It Be Nice" is kind of about having a grown up relationship and talking to the girl about like, wouldn't it be nice when we're older and we have more of a grown up relationship. So definitely it's about growing up. I feel like and be true to your school, about your high school, I think, and yeah, so definitely it was hitting a young demographic, I think, and it was. I would say they were more about having fun and stuff like that, and you really hear it in the music. The music is just so fun. Like when I listen to Beach Boy music, and certain bands can do this, and Beach Boys do this for me, is as soon as I'm listening to it, like I picture myself on a beach, and I never go to the beach. I'm from Kansas. We don't have beaches, we don't have oceans, big lakes, really. Uh, you know, we're right in the middle of the country. I'm very landlocked, so I've never been to California, but yet I picture myself on a California beach dancing to this music. It's very like dance oriented. I feel like I can picture a lot of teenagers dancing to this song. And I'm not a dancer. I don't dance to music, but yet I'm thinking to myself, man, I would love to be on a beach, listening to the Beach Boys music, doing whatever dance they do back then. And it just takes me to a place. My mind goes there. And that's what I love about the Beach Boys, which is so cool, how they can put this mental picture in my brain and how I just have fun listening to their music. A lot of their hits, anyways. Very catchy, upbeat music. They also have some ballads, which I absolutely love. Obviously, what I love about the Beach Boys is their harmonies are just, bar none, one of the best. I mean, I always think the Beatles have great harmonies. Beach Boys, amazing harmonies also at this time. With I think there's 5 members, 3 Wilson brothers, and Al Jardine and Mike Love. The 5 of them together singing. I mean, and they not only do they harmonize, but it's a very high tenor harmonization. They sing very high notes, more than even the Beatles, I'd say, or other bands like Eagles or and whatnot. Chicago, I don't know, other bands that have harmonization, their harmonies are very high, and I love that high tenor voice. That's what I love about the Beach Boys sound, is when they hit those really high notes together. It just sounds so amazing. Or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young is another one I think about. Usually, you have a couple guys that hit high notes, a couple guys that maybe hit lower notes. Somebody's in the middle, so they all kind of mesh together. But I don't know, I feel like their high notes are just so amazing when they sing them together, and that's what really makes it great. The other great thing I love about the Beach Boys is I love songs where you have one person singing and then you have like background vocals. I even love it when they're just going ooh, they're doing like ooh thing or bop bop bop, something. I don't know why. I love when one person's singing, others are doing background vocals, and I even love it when they're singing like two different things. The lead singer is singing kind of the melody, but then the background singers are singing a whole different thing that also meshes up with what he's singing. And the Beach Boys do that, I think, better than anybody. I would say they even do it like there's almost like three different songs going at once at sometimes, where one or two people are singing these words, and then someone else is singing something similar, but it's a different, it's almost like a round. It felt like they start, someone else comes in with something different, and then there's almost like a third part that comes in, or a third part that's just going ooh in the background, and just all the different parts layered together are really kind of amazing, and really what make Beach Boys such a fun listen to, I think. Um, Anyways, that's just a little bit about what I think about the Beach Boys, I guess, and a little bit of history that I have with the Beach Boys. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with them. I've seen like I've probably seen documentary, and I've seen made for TV movie. I know they had problems with their dad. I've seen stuff on Brian Wilson, of course. He's the one you think of that the most, because he was like the architect of the Pet Sounds, and he had like a mental breakdown, and you've seen a lot about his mental breakdown and what happened. And he leaves the Beach Boys, and I feel like the Beach Boys were never the same after he left. But yeah, looking at this, I said 4 sides to it, 2 on each disc. I would say side A is like the quintessential Beach Boys. Like, they really put some of their best stuff, I think, on side A, as far as like the early, I feel like, more catchy surfing music. Side A has California Girls, which I think is like, I mean, like I said, with Surfing USA, California Girls, I mean, that's the Beach Boy sound. That's like, that's an early, when you think of Beach Boys, you think of those songs. They really, I don't know if there's another band that really even sounds like them or sings about, surfing and all that and being on a beach as much as they are. They really kind of made that sound. But I love how they begin with California Girls, which is one of their biggest hits ever, and one of the most well-known songs. But I Get Around, Surfing Safari, Surfing USA, which I believe is like, these are like the first big hits that they had. Fun, Surfer Girl, which is a little bit slower. Don't Worry Baby, another slower ballad songs. And then you end with Little Deuce Coupe, another catchy, fast-paced song. That side, just really great. Every song I enjoy, and are all hits that I'm familiar with. Side B is also very good. All songs I enjoy and I've heard before. Shut Down, Help Me Rhonda, Be True to Your School, When I Grow Up to Be a Man, In My Room. And then you have God Only Knows, which is, I'll get to that a little bit. But God Only Knows, I mean, what amazing songwriting. And that starts the Pets. There's 3 songs with the Pet Sounds on here. And that starts with God Only Knows. And then you got Sloop John B, huge hit off of Pet Sounds. And that Inside B. And then, but when you get to side, I'll say this, when you get to side C, the music is not as good. To me, side A, side B, that first vinyl disc is absolutely amazing. That's when I think of the best of the Beach Boys. Like, that's the best of the Beach Boys, is that, I say out of these 30 songs, I would say there's like 17 really good songs on here. So that's always a problem with compilation albums, I find. When I look at a compilation album, I always just look at like, all right, there's always certain songs that I have to have on it. And so I'll look at it and I'll say, all right, I have to have God Only Knows. I have to have Good Vibrations. I have to have Sloop John B. I have to have Don't Worry Baby. There's certain songs where I'm like, if this isn't on here, I'm not buying it. So I usually look at a compilation album and I think of this. Okay, if it has to have this song for me to buy it, to say this is the best of. And so when I looked at this and I thought of what are the quintessential Beach Boy songs that have to be on here, they all are on here. So I don't think there's a song where I thought, oh, they didn't have that song. I mean, like I said, they only have three Pet Sounds songs, but they're the three big hits off of Pet Sounds. I love all the songs of Pet Sounds, but those are the three on there. God Only Knows, Sloop John B, and Wouldn't It Be Nice are definitely like the three big hits off of it. So I don't mind that they didn't have the other ones like Caroline No, I've always enjoyed. I Wasn't Made for These Times. There's some really good songs on there, but they're a little more deeper cuts. So I don't mind that they don't have them on there. I mean, some more Pet Sound songs, I wouldn't, that would be great. But I don't discount it for not having those. But anyways, um, when you get to side C, like I said, that's when there's only like one song I really like on side C, and that's "Wouldn't It Be Nice." We got a lot of cover songs on here, and I don't think the cover songs are very good, to be honest. Especially rock and roll music. Rock and roll music it's a Chuck Berry song. The Beatles did it on, uh, I think, Beatles for Sale album. And it's a really hard rocking, 50s song about rock and roll music. Beach Boys, they're not rock and roll music. I guess they're more pop music, I would say. They have a little bit of a rock sound to them with the guitars, but they're not quite on the level of Beatles or Chuck Berry as far as rock music goes, I would say. So the rock and roll music song does not work because they're such a more laid back, fun type music. They don't really bring in the rock and roll that you need for that song. So that's a little weird, but Come Go With Me is a 50s cover song. Dance, Dance, Dance. Do You Want to Dance? I don't know. They're all weren't that good. And I feel like a lot of these songs were after Brian Wilson left. So I feel like the songs where Brian Wilson was like, very, into arranging everything are very good. I feel like the ones that he was almost all these early ones, when you look at who wrote it, it's always Brian Wilson and somebody else. So Brian Wilson always wrote with somebody else, but Brian Wilson was always highly involved in the song. When you get to these later songs, like I said, Brian Wilson left the band, and so he's not writing the music, he's not arranging the music, and it just doesn't sound like the Beach Boys to me anymore. It just doesn't sound right without Brian Wilson, in my opinion. Um, like you have Bob or Ann, which I'm not super crazy about, but I've heard that song. It's kind of a weird song, catchy song that's been on the radio a lot. And then you get side D. Again, the only song I really like, and I love it. It begins with California Girls on side A. It ends with Good Vibrations side D. Good Vibrations probably I don't know if I wouldn't say the greatest song, but definitely up there. It's one of the great Beach Boys songs, and just amazingly arranged song off of it wasn't off of Pet Sounds, but it was around the Pet Sounds era, where Brian Wilson was just doing amazing work with all the different instrumentations, of course, that's what had his mental breakdown because he was getting too much into the details. Anyways, so it ends with Good Vibrations, with a great ending song to the whole, two discs. But I'd say that's the only song I really, really like on side D. Again, Coco Mo is on here, which is an okay song. It's a song I've heard before. It's not bad. But a lot of the other songs on here, I don't know. They're not songs I'm not familiar with, and so I listen to them. I'm like, okay, I know why I'm not familiar with them. They're not that good. Anyway, so I wish, like, if I would say a perfect album would be side A, side B, and add Wouldn't It Be Nice and Good Vibrations to side A and side B, and make that, I believe that would be 17 songs. So if you took those 17 songs and just had those 17, it would be like the perfect album, and it'd be definitely, like, to me, the best of the Beach Boys, which is really good because, like, and still 17 songs is a lot of good songs for a band. There's a lot of bands I go, I really like that band, but I only like 5 songs, and so it's like they wrote probably a lot of songs that I just don't care about, but I still like them just because of those 5 songs, so they're so good. I mean, so Beach Boys, 17 good songs. That's I think actually pretty incredible. I mean, the only band that has more is like the Beatles, which has like 100 or more songs that I really like. or Paul McCartney maybe is up there too with that. Anyways, but I mean, overall, I'm glad for the purchase. It definitely gives you the best of the Beach Boys, which is what I wanted. I wanted to get all the great songs on one or two discs here. Anyway, so it gives me that, especially side A, side B. Like if I'm listening to this, I almost just want to listen to that first disc because that's all the music is really good on that first disc here. Anyway, so but that's the way about compilation albums. I think they give you more songs than you really need. I don't know why they feel like giving you you only need 20 and they give you 30 songs. And I don't know who comes up with these compilation albums. Somebody decides what hopefully you're hoping they have pretty good judgment and they're thinking about, okay, we definitely got to have the hits on here. And then I don't know where they come up with the other songs, but somehow they come out. I don't know if the Beach Boys are involved at all in what goes on here, but anyway, somebody or the record company comes up with what's on here. But yeah, so 30 songs, too many songs for this band, even though they're very good and I enjoy them. 30 probably too much, but still, you're getting a lot of songs, I guess, for these two discs. So I guess you're happy they're getting so much if you're a Beach Boys fan. But definitely would approve this as a purchase if you ever want to purchase the best of the Beach Boys. This is a pretty good compilation album, I think. Two discs, the Sounds of Summer. Anyway, so I think that's about it I'll say about my review of the album itself. And I was going to do another video probably talking about my top 10 favorite songs off the album anyways. So wait for that. Probably come out soon after this. And just say, please comment what you think about the Beach Boys. What was your history with the Beach Boys, maybe? What's your favorite song with the Beach Boys and favorite album, all that stuff. If you're a Beach Boys fan, love to hear if you have this album, what you think. So just feel free to comment there. Love to read them. And just thank you for watching the video and for liking it. And just thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm up to 45 now, so I've actually gained like 12 subscribers over the last month. So it's very exciting. Not a lot of subscribers, but I'm happy for anybody that'll listen to me. I really appreciate it. So thank you and have a good day.